Welcome to Season 2 with the Market Mystics, where we discuss and redefine markets, wealth, and trading on Earth as it is in heaven. Join us on the journey while we consider new possibilities with special guests who might just challenge a few perspectives. Get ready to dive in deep with your hosts, Joshua and Kim.
Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday.
Welcome. So, Kim and I have been having a discussion for the past 10 or 15 minutes. And finally I was just
45 minutes.
That's true. I was just like, you should just push record. Like, this is good. This is good content. So the brunt of it, I would say, started from a comment I made of just like, objectively speaking, whether or not you agree with where things are or disagree with where things are, the state of world politics is kind of weird. Like, the state of the world in general is just kind of in a weird spot. And it's fascinating to see. I know we've talked a little bit before about like the possibilities of like or the theory that this is all just sort of a game. And I told Kim, I was like, it's kind of like people playing this game and the main storyline has been completed, and now they're going back through and they've got cheats enabled. They're just playing random like missions, doing whatever they want, and there's almost no rhyme or reason to it, to what's going on. And it's just kind of fascinating to step back from and take a look at.
For sure. I don't know how much to go into about this, but I don't know. This isn't a one side of politics or other side of politics conversation.
Right.
This is a what the hell's happening in freaking politics conversation. Yeah. Because I think people on all sides of the spectrum are behaving in a way we've not seen in governments. And I personally hold the opinion that I think government is one thing. Politics is the game that dictates the government. Like, it's all one big game. Who makes this move? Who makes the counter move? Who actually gets the win on that? And unfortunately, I think the constituents tend to be then the pawns in the game. Right.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about how weird this game has turned out to be recently. It's like, for so long, people are like really pushing and trying to win the game. And now all of a sudden they're like, well, what would happen if I did this? What if I did this button combo? I think, wow, look at that. That happened.
Yeah.
And then other people go, well, what if I try it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of become this wild thing that I don't even know how to define anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely, it's very intriguing. And that's one of the things we were talking about before. It's like, man, whether doesn't matter what side of the political like field you're standing on. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very strange. Mm-hmm. But I think it ties in very well to the season of life that we're in. And this is why. So today is Passover, which is the biblical New Year. And it's, we've talked in our interview with Rose Kaufman, we've talked after that about how this is a time for, like, it's spring, new things are happening. It's time for goal setting, for planning, leveling up. We've talked, all these conversations we've had for the past few months. But I think that it's like a really good opportunity, especially, we've also talked about the importance of like your role in this life. And I can tell you, it sort of feels like this game is nearing it's like they've drugged the game out as long as they can, and the game's about to change. And so I think in this season of new life, of like new year, that there's a really good opportunity for people to set some goals, to set some plans in place for, okay, things are sort of strange. What would I like to see changed? How would I like to innovate what's going on? And I think there's a really good opportunity for people to like release the next version of the game and play something different.
I think you're so right. I think we've been in a season that has been like this. I think the
Mhm.
pandemic really made people pause in their routines and their like, running the race kind of stuff because you couldn't do anything. Made people pause, step back, and see if they were actually living the life they wanted to.
Yeah.
I was just telling Josh before we hit record, I tend to think this is why there was this huge housing boom shortly after the onset of the pandemic. People were all forced to stay home, and then they were looking at their walls and they were looking at the hallways and the bathroom there and the kitchen there and thinking, I don't actually like my house. I think I'm going to do something about it. If I have to be here, I want to have a house I like. And so it was a housing boom, yes, but I also tend to believe that it was like this huge housing swap.
Yeah.
It was like, you don't like your hallway, but I don't like my bathroom, but I like your hallway and you like my bathroom. So it's not that simple, but I tend to think that's kind of what happened because there wasn't a whole lot of new construction during that time, but there was a whole lot of moving and
Yeah.
houses selling and being bought and all the things.
Yeah. And, we talked about how with some of the people we're involved in South Africa, how during the lockdown, people who had multiple residents had to choose one residence. And a huge population moved towards the coast. And it's amazing to see because what that tells you is people prioritized something, whatever it was, money, house, opportunity, whatever it was, prioritized something over being where they would rather be, like being somewhere they enjoyed being. And I think that's like what really stuck me with like this Passover time period we're in is like, man, like the past 3 years have been an excellent opportunity to show you like to take you out of the normal routine you were in and for you to evaluate, do I enjoy being where I am? Do I enjoy who I am? There was such a huge boom in like mental health and self-help programs that happened during COVID because all of a sudden people were like, oh, now that there's actually quiet, now that there's actually opportunity for me to just sit for a moment, I don't like who I am. I don't
Mm,
like where I live. I don't like this situation I'm in. I don't like this
right.
job. And it was like, oh, it was such a wake up call for so many people to take a look at where they're at and to reevaluate. And I still think we're in a place where it sort of to me feels like we're getting ready to step back into a like a new season where um things are going to shift and change, but also like starting new patterns, starting these new things. And I think right now is an excellent opportunity to evaluate where you're at, where you're living, what you're doing, and get those things established before we enter this new season.
I totally agree. Totally agree. And I think the sweet spot of doing this right now is that it's not in the midst of the panic going on
Mm.
around you. So I'd like to think we're beyond that panic, the pandemic, all of that storyline or thing that was happening. Like, but the panic isn't there. The fear isn't there anymore. Or I
Right.
hope it isn't there anymore for you. Okay. But now you're in a place where things are starting to level out a bit. You're not going to be making decisions based on fear or panic or any of those things, but you've had the opportunity to evaluate some of these things and maybe notice that, yeah, I don't like that hallway, or I don't like that bathroom, or I do, like you said, like I do want to live by the sea. Guess what? I want to live by the sea. I don't know if you know this. We live in Kansas, which means that the closest ocean to us is about
11 hours?
11 and an 11-hour drive. That's to get to Galveston. That's about as close of an ocean as we can get. It's crazy. So, I mean, but think about those things, or you know what? I want a job that gives me more time off because I really think it's important to be with my family. Or I want a job where I can work remotely and I can still travel as much as I want, but still get my work done. Whatever it is, it's a really great time to sit and evaluate it, because you can really, I think you have the ability to be very stable-minded about it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that's just, I think that's the key right now, is we're in a time where the whole universe is ready for you to make changes, is ready for you to like make plans, to set up goals, to change your life. It's like everything is cheering for you to do that right now. So do it. Like, do that. Make some changes in the world.
I love it. I want to end it there. That was like
Great. It's like a 13-minute episode. These people, it's perfect timing.
I know, it's bite-sized. Maybe the change we're making is that we'll give you more bite-sized episodes.
Yeah.
Actually not. I like to switch it up.
That's good.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See you guys soon. Thank you for sticking around. Listen for new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Find us on all social media platforms by searching for Market Mystics. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Visit upperroomcd.com, where you can find more information about the hosts, projects, and guests. Go deeper by booking a coaching appointment focused on redefining identity and wealth in your life. See you next time.